Ever wonder why so many kings rose just to fall so fast? The book of Kings in the Bible is more than history, a warning, a lesson, and a promise. Stick around, so we'll open your eyes. There are 3 things that I want to mention as we begin this study. 1 warning, 1 lesson, and 1 promise. Let's get into it. Warning number 1, God can raise you up, but if you're disobedient, he can also bring you down. In 1 Kings chapter 11, we see the beginning of the end for King Solomon. And the reason is very clear. Verse 6. But Solomon did not follow the Lord, his God, in the way of his father David. Notice how Solomon started out well, but he finished his course in disobedience. God gave him the greatest kingdom, great wealth, and even allowed him to build the temple. But towards the end of his life, he turned to other gods. Verse 9, for it came to pass in the latter days of Solomon's reign, when Solomon became old and his service grew weary, that he married an Egyptian woman, and thus his wives turned his heart after other gods. The lesson here is simple. Just because you start out serving God doesn't mean you'll finish that way. You must stay the course. Lesson no. 2. God gives grace to the humble. 1 Kings chapter 19, we meet Elijah, a man of God who is downcast, because Israel had forsaken the Lord. Yet God said to him, I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him. Here we learn 2 important facts about God. He is gracious, and he is just. God wants to show mercy, but sometimes he has to judge. And he said to Ahab, in your lifetime, I will bring judgment on you by every means, for you have sold yourself to do what is evil in the sight of the Lord. Promise no. 3. God will establish a kingdom that will never be destroyed. In 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 51 to 52, Ahab is confronted by the prophet Micaiah. And the word of the Lord came to Micaiah, saying, have you seen this army? The Lord has increased and multiplied it, and I am bringing it, and he will surely do in your days, O Jehoshaphat, what he has spoken by his servant, saying, surely there shall be in those days, O Ahab, the king of Israel, none of the offspring of David, nor from the offspring of Jesse. The Lord shall cut off the lineage of both the house of Ahab and the house of Baasha. And it shall come to pass in the field of Kerith, in the days of Ahab, that a company of the merchants there shall take possession, even all of them, and there shall be there for the merchants no more multitude, nor company of travelers, nor caravan any more. Now let me explain the significance of the 3 things I mentioned. Warning, God will raise you up, but if you're disobedient, he can also bring you down. To Solomon, this meant losing his kingdom. To Israel, this meant exile. To Judah, this meant destruction. But for believers today, this means eternal separation from God. Lesson, God gives grace to the humble, but he will judge the proud. For Israel, this meant judgment. For Judah, this meant exile. For Jerusalem, this meant destruction. But for believers today, this means spiritual death. And promise, God will establish a kingdom that will never be destroyed. That's the good news for believers. Judgment may come, but God will have a people. 5 kings are mentioned in our passage: Solomon, Ahab, Jehoshaphat, David, and Baasha. We've already learned much from their lives. If you'd like to know more, read the accounts in 1 and 2 Kings. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Until next time, walk good.